Welcome to St. Augustine this evening, the Mike Davis Show. And boy, do we have a great show for you tonight. It's Amanda and I freewheeling, free speaking on winning.
All the winning.
All the winnings,
So
all the
much
things.
winning.
There's so much good news out there. We're going to let you know about all of that. Levi, for a young guy, they talk about young people don't work hard.
Yeah.
He certainly works hard.
Yeah.
I know he plays hard at winning because he's won a golf tournament this year. He's won a basketball
He wins all the
tournament.
things.
He's winning all the time.
Uh-huh.
I did not know his middle name was Donald J.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that. But congratulations to him. He's off working hard today, getting stuff done. He'll hopefully be back next week. Tomorrow we have the Bollocks boys in. Had a great show yesterday. My blood sugar was so high last night. My heart rate never came down from that show. So.
I did not go to sleep until way too late.
Well, we went to, we had a prayer meeting with some people from church, and Bible's not really a Bible, so just kind of a get together. And went home and had a couple of Darcy cookies at like 9:30.
Yeah.
My heart rate spiked at about 1. I looked at my watch. I'm like, why was my heart rate? Oh, Darcy's cookies. There's a lot of sugar in
Darcy's
those.
cookies, all of the chocolate.
Yes.
And there was a lot of caramel too.
And I got to admit, the energy Davey brings. Sometimes it's just infectious. And so you just like so excited that you got to spend time with Davey, and he's so funny and happy. And I have no Barbara Jean to see any of this. I said all of these things, and Barbara Jean is not even here to see any of it.
I'll
so,
tag her
I know.
in. Sometimes.
Talk about pandering when it did no good.
I know. What is happening?
I mean, the only person that got excited about that was Davey.
And he's watching too.
I know. All right, let's make some money for this show so we can keep paying Davey to come back.
That'll work.
All right, Powell Heating and Air Conditioning, they've been serving St. Augustine and St. Johns County for over 40 years. Their dedication to customer service is evident in everything they do. From the moment they answer your call until the time they leave your home, they're working to make you comfortable and confident about the care and service you receive from Powell Heating and Air. They do this with a fleet of over 10 trucks and a 15,000 square foot warehouse stocked with parts and equipment ready to serve you around the clock. They're not kidding. They mean 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, nights, weekends, holidays, all of it. Powell Heating and Air Conditioning, they're there for you. 904-794-2665. 904-794-2665. Give them a call. They're great folks.
They are great folks. Another set of great folks are the folks at Bozard Ford Lincoln in St. Augustine. Their goal is to make sure your time and experience buying a car is stress-free, fun, and enjoyable. Bozard is a family-owned Ford dealership that has been in business since 1949. Bozard Ford Lincoln has been the recipient of numerous dealer awards, including being ranked #1 automotive dealership in the nation by Dealer Rater. Bozard Ford has also won back-to-back President's Awards, which is the highest honor given by Ford Motor Company. Check them out today online at bozardford.com or head on down there and have a Jiffy Burger at Ford's Garage. We also have Brightway Insurance, the Casey Agency, opening their doors in 2008. Brightway Insurance, the Casey Agency, has proudly stood by their customers through hurricanes, major floods, hail, and fires. Through these events, the agency has become a much-needed insurance resource in times of trouble and hardship. Honesty and integrity are the pillars of our core values, says owner Ashley Casey. We pride ourselves on being insurance experts while developing strategies that help our clients meet their insurance needs. They truly enjoy the relationships that they have forged with you, St. Augustine. Everyone in the office really loves getting to know our audience. Give them a call, Brightway Insurance, the Casey Agency, for all your insurance needs.
Are they exporters or experts?
You know what? I thought you were going to let it go, but you just didn't. I was rolling on through.
I know. I just let you get to the end of it. I just let you get all the way to the end. All right. Solomon Services. It's the premier place for personal training in St. Augustine. They specialize in one-on-one classes with both youth and adults. They also have small group strength and fitness development classes. If you're trying to get faster and agile, they can help you do that. If you've been injured, they can get you back on the court. You'll be stronger and in better shape when they do. They do all of this in a state-of-the-art center with both indoor and outdoor turf areas, and every single one of their coaches is certified through the National Strength and Conditioning Association. Call and make an appointment today, 904-461-9945, or visit their website, solomonservices.com, and sign up today. I'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah?
I think I'm like 13, 14 years in a row.
That's pretty awesome.
I know. It's a really good way
Lucky
to get
number
in shape.
13.
Lots of great people that are there. It's absolutely wonderful. So, yes.
I need to call them. I need to actually bite the bullet and do it and start working out again.
And you get to train with Deb Mills.
That would be cool.
Deb is awesome. Deb does all the women. She's absolutely fantastic.
Deb does women. Got that.
Deb, I didn't say it. I did not say that. I said Deb trains all the women. You took that completely out of context.
We would love to meet
Man,
Deb.
when I see Deb tomorrow and I tell her what you said about her.
Deb does women.
Wow.
We're gonna make t-shirts.
Deb does women. That is sure to bring a whole bunch of
Solomon
people
Services.
to Solomon Services. Wow. Now I'm in trouble with Sal, too.
I love you guys.
Deb and Sal. So much trouble all at one
I don't know
time.
if I've ever been banned from a place before I ever actually walked in.
They'll probably let you come to one class and make you do 1,000 push-ups for that.
Oh no, I just cashed that ticket, didn't I?
You did? All right. So Tulsi Gabbard, who was not supposed to get and get past all of this, is now in.
She's in.
So Hegseth is in. Tulsi Gabbard is in. We got RFK Jr. to get across the finish line and Kash Patel. And to me, Kash Patel's the important one and should have already been voted on. But I think they were waiting to see how everybody else
I think they're
went.
terrified.
I think there are certain people that are like, holy crap, this organization might actually start doing what it was supposed to do as opposed to the political mission it gave itself, which is keeping tabs on everybody so it stays in power.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be interesting. But Tulsi's in. So very,
That's
very,
wild.
very happy about that.
So I made the argument that Trump never would have been elected in 2016 had the Democrats not stonewalled Tulsi Gabbard.
Mm-hmm.
And I was told that I was crazy, that there was zero chance that she was electable.
See,
But not only is she likable enough that I think she could have won the nomination had the uniparty kind of blocked her, but she crossed the aisle and now she's an attractive potential, political maneuver in the Republican Party.
I'm going to say something controversial.
Yeah. You
More
don't like her?
controversial than what you said. She was too pretty to be a Democratic nominee. I'm just saying.
So you're saying
There's not a lot of attractive women on the Democratic side.
they destroyed wait, when did she run? Not 2016. So 2020.
Mhm.
It would have been a legitimate landslide for the Democrats, a legitimate landslide for the Democrats in 2020 had they allowed Tulsi Gabbard to actually have a fair nomination process.
Had Tulsi been running in 2016, right?
Oh, she would have won.
Not against Hillary, but again, she had a better
Mhm.
chance. 2020 was too racially charged. It was too identity politics charged.
Mhm.
You had COVID going on. The crazy is what won in 2020. And I always said 2020 would be decided in the courts, and we're still working our way through court cases.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that was a crazy time. She didn't have a chance.
I think she's a woman of color.
She is.
Yeah. She's
Mm-hmm.
of European and Samoan ancestry.
Yeah.
So they didn't have to have I promised to do a woman of color vice presidential nomination. They had the opportunity to have a woman of color nominee.
Joe Biden walked on, and she would have been an interesting run against Trump this cycle because things are more conservative and more moderate than they were in 2020, right? We were on a really leftward tilt 2020 and 2021 as a country. So she would have had a better chance. But Joe Biden said he would pick a black woman. And so you couldn't make Samoan black. So that's why.
Are you
I'm not. I'm just saying what the Democrats
making
did.
claims about? Never mind.
I'm
I don't want to
just
get banned.
don't go there. Just leave it
Yeah.
alone, right? I mean, I'm not. But no, I think she's very smart. I think she's great for the job. I think she'll bring a new look at this whole thing. And we've had too many people for too long in DC that have been part of the establishment, and the American people started throwing that out really with Barack Obama's wins because they threw out the Clinton establishment, right? And then you look at, then Trump comes along after that. Then you have this crazy 4 years with a guy who wasn't running the country. We still don't know who was running the country. And I think that it's, we're now kind of coming back to, okay, we're going to clean this up. We're going to clean up Washington, D.C. And every single day that Elon Musk and his Doge team or Donald Trump cuts something, it's like a dream come true for those of us that are taxpayers going, I'm sick and tired of watching my money wasted. So today, I will let you tell the story since you're the one that saw the story and brought it in. USAID
Yes.
got a reprieve from a judge.
Yes.
A judge gave them a reprieve. No more end death sentence for the organization.
Well, they were all on leave pending an investigation to be fired, whatever. A judge put a stay on that order, so ordered them back to work. And the way I heard it, they showed up to enter the office to begin working thanks to the judge's order, and the lease on the building was canceled by the Trump administration, and so they no longer have a building to work in. USAID or USAID no longer has a workplace to work in. So if you don't let them get put on leave, then now they just can't work.
According to KWTX, which I'm assuming is in Texas, Channel 10, USAID is stripped of its lease and staffers turned away from D.C. headquarters.
There's an awful lot of people.
This was published 2 days ago at 4:22 p.m.
Yeah, I just
We
heard it
talk
today.
about us being on top of the news.
I know. Well, we got to vet our sources.
Yes.
But I thought that was hilarious. All of these situations where you have like men standing guard at doors and people just screaming in their faces. It's kind of wild. But Musk has come out saying that there's just way more waste and fraud in the government than even he had assumed there was. And so people are like, gee, I wonder if the budget will balance once we get rid of all this waste.
We might be able to balance the budget in 1 year, which
without-
people said was impossible.
without cutting anything legitimate.
We're on our way.
Removing the fraud.
We're on our way. The Trump administration on Monday, and this is on the website, told the Associated Press that it had taken USAID off the lease of the building,
Weird.
which it had occupied for decades. The eviction comes as a court temporarily blocked a Trump administration order that
That's
would have
30
pulled
days.
all but a fraction of workers off the job worldwide. USAID's eviction from its headquarters marks the latest in the swift dismantling of the aid agency. I'm not sure we can call it an aid agency based on what it was doing.
Based on what
That's
we
what it
now
was
know is
intended to
doing.
possibly do. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't.
Well, so
and
is
it's
FEMA.
programs by Donald Trump and his billionaire. With ominous music playing in the background.
Dun,
Billionaire
dun, dun.
ally Elon Musk. Both have targeted agency spending that they call wasteful and accused its work around the world of being out of line with Trump's agenda. All of that's true. It said a steady stream of agency staffers dressed in business clothes.
Why is that relevant? Like, why do we care?
USAID sweatshirts or T-shirts. I guess they wanted
Which I'm
people
sure
to know.
we paid for.
We paid for those, yeah. We're
Branded
told by a
T-shirts.
front desk officer Monday that they had a list of no more than 10 names of people allowed to enter the building, and tarps covered the USAID's interior signs. The dude knows how to kick people out of a building.
Oh my word, he's a landlord.
He's a landlord. He knows how to do this. You're fighting him on his turf, and he is crushing you right now.
Well, so you always see in old movies like we can do this the easy way or we can do this the hard way.
Yes.
And Trump is showing us that that applies in the government
Yeah.
too.
Oh, he's a step ahead of them. I have an article that I'm going to kind of read some sections through. My father-in-law sent it to me. I don't know how much of it's true or not true. If it's true, it's great. If it's not true, it's a wonderful, wonderful screenplay for what should be out there. So I don't, like I said, I'm giving you kind of some cover on that. I'm not sure, but it's all about Doge and Elon Musk and how they got into different agencies and how they were in the agency and had it figured out before staffers even knew they were in. And how staffers like, we got to stop this. And it was too late.
Yeah.
They already had all the information they needed. And the algorithms that they had, once they ran them through what was going on through the computer system, they were able to figure out where all the payments went. Samantha Power is going to come under investigation. I don't know whether any of this is true, not true, right? So I'm saying that right now, but she listed her net worth at $10 million, $13 million 3 or 4 years ago. Do you want to guess what she lists her net worth
So 10
as?
to 13 million.
Yeah.
How are these public servants millionaires?
Making $180,000 a year.
180,000 a year. She's a millionaire in the double digits.
Do you know how rich that makes Andy at the diner? Do you know how rich he is?
Andy. Let's see. So how old is, or how rich is she?
Yeah.
at this point.
What's her net worth according to her latest statement that came out, I think,
It
in
was 10 to
23?
13?
Yeah.
I'm going to say 120 million.
That's Nancy Pelosi range.
Okay.
She's just a lowly
69
USA.
million?
Yeah, you're getting closer. 30 million.
30 million.
30 million.
Dang.
Which is still rather remarkable.
I need their
to be a
investor.
government employee and to triple your net worth in 3 years.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
How do you do that?
She should not be doing USA Aid. She should be writing a book on how to triple your net worth in 3 years.
Well, usually the people that write those books, the way you make the money is convincing people to buy the book.
Yeah.
Not actually following anything inside the book.
Yes. Bobby says when they showed up and the sign said you can't park here in the parking lot, that's when they should have gotten the hint. Some people are dense, Bobby. They're just dense. They got to go into work.
You know what they should do? They should put a screen in the lobby for all but those 10 people whose name's actually on the list and just replay on a loop the scene from Forrest Gump where everyone's telling him he can't sit next to them on the bus.
Yes.
Let's do that.
Well, the other
Can't sit here.
would have been scrolling the wasteful spending. If you approve this, this is why you're not here today. That's what I would have done. I would have scrolled the wasteful
Andy
spending.
approved $150,000 to research what side ants fall on when they're drunk. So he can't come in the building.
Yes. That's
Sally approved.
Because Sally approved this, and that's why she can't come in the building.
That's an actual government-funded study, by the way.
There's all these stories about how all this food is out there rotting and it can't be distributed. So I have a question. Why are we the ones distributing the food? You mean we not only have to buy the food, ship the food, and give the food out in these countries? That the country we're helping can't even supply people to give the food out? I'm just kind of curious about...
They need to email Epicure to figure out how to handle that.
Are we chewing the food for them too? I mean, what exactly does the country that's receiving the aid actually do if they can't unload the food and distribute the food?
So here's... yes, that is all annoying and that bothers me. But here's what I have learned in research in how foreign aid affects nations. And what I have found is we end up enriching our preferred food suppliers by purchasing all this food. We spend all of the carbon to get it to whatever country it needs to go to. And then we put out of business the local farms, the local food markets, because we now supply everybody with free or super cheap under market valued food as an aid mission. So now we've just impoverished them more because we've de-incentivized local farmers. We've de-incentivized local grocery stores, local markets. It would be much better for these people if rather than sending food to them that we evidently logistically have to send staff to hand out, why can't, I mean, I don't want to send money either, but that would be better for the economy if it was just, okay, here's a check for $150 for a month of food. You budget it yourself. You buy through your preferred vendors. Now you've incentivized farmers, you've incentivized local grocery stores, and you've stimulated their economy. That would be a much better way to help these people, because just by flooding the market with clothes that didn't benefit any of the local manufacturers, food that didn't benefit any of the local farmers or local markets, we're just killing the economy and making them reliant on our aid forever.
You know what you have just proven to me in the last 2 minutes of your rant?
What?
You are completely incapable of understanding or working for government. You're a failure, Amanda.
It's one of the only jobs I can't have, evidently.
There's no way you can work for government with an attitude like that, young lady. There's no way.
Well, it's the fair tax model of untaxing food and pharmaceuticals, is that there's the fair tax is applied on all new items purchased, but you get a check to untax the food and the pharmaceuticals that you might purchase. And so the tax might still be on it, but you get a stipend that outweighs that.
Like any program can be run better than the way we're running the program right now. Because I've looked at the people they put in charge of the program, and they can all tell you they're crying whine that, oh, we're doing this for the good of it. If you were really doing it for the good of people, you'd have figured out a way to do it that enhanced their life instead of making them dependent upon the United States and aid that is questionable whether we should be sending it, while ignoring your fellow citizens who are in desperate need of aid and freezing in the mountains of North Carolina or have no place to live in LA. Just
was it 54 or 57 million that got sent just last week from FEMA to New York City?
Oh, I have an update on that story. It was $59 million. Some staffers, unbeknownst to everyone, went against the rules and sent the money anyway to prove not only are they capable of getting caught doing this,
but they're strong, independent women that don't need no man.
They're strong, independent people that just didn't want to believe in Donald Trump, but that they were the next ones eligible for you're fired.
Yeah.
Kristi Noem today. Fired. There's 3 women today that are fired. You've got Tulsi Gabbard getting sworn in. You have Kristi Noem who clawed back the $59 million from the hotels. So even though staffers tried to illegally do this, she clawed it back, right?
Nice. That's why you need a girl in that position, because she knows how to claw things.
Here's the one that was totally fired today.
Totally.
Pam Bondi was sworn in, right? She went into the DOJ today. Inside the offices, she removed 3 portraits. Do you know what portraits she removed from the walls in the office?
From the office?
From the office walls. Which 3 portraits did she remove?
So this is Pam Bondi.
Pam Bondi, Department of Justice. Yes.
Who did she remove? Holder?
Joe Biden. Kamala Harris.
Garland.
And Merrick Garland. Yes.
Nice.
She said she was amazed that 3 weeks into Trump's administration, those photos were still hanging. Which is really just somebody in the DOJ going, we'll show her, we'll leave the photos up. If that's the kind of Department of Justice we have, all those people need to go. Whoever sat around the table and said, we'll show Pam Bondi how tough we are, she's going to have to look at Joe Biden when she walks in here. No, you're not the kind of lawyer we need to go chase bad guys.
See, me personally, if I was Pam Bondi, there would be a certain amount of, this is awesome. I
know. I think I know where you're going.
Pictures.
I think I know where you're going with it. Where would you put the pictures?
I would throw them away.
See, I think you're missing. I think you're missing out on an opportunity.
Toilet.
I would have rehung them in the men's and women's bathrooms. That's where I would have rehung them. Over top of the men's urinal stalls, I would have hung them right there. I would have sent a message to DOJ employees. Fool around and find out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she took them down there in the corner of her office, which I think is hilarious. So they can't get rehung somewhere. But, you know, Pam Bondi's awesome. Pam Bondi was a phenomenal attorney general for the state of Florida. She's tough. I loved her responses during her Senate hearing. I thought she just did an amazing job.
So Merrick Garland was the Supreme Court nominee from Obama that Congress sat on because he didn't have a majority in Congress. So they were just like, no, we're just going to wait for Trump. And so there was always that he was a moderate. Obama nominated a moderate, and the Republicans were just playing politics with the Supreme Court, blah, 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 blah. He had the opportunity as Attorney General to prove that the Republicans were a-holes by not allowing his vote to confirm him onto the Supreme Court to go through.
Yeah.
And all he did was prove that the Republicans were 100% right. He was absolutely a political shill that was going to be an activist judge in the Supreme Court. He proved them right. So there's zero argument that you can make that it was inappropriate for the Republicans to stonewall his nomination and wait until Trump could nominate someone.
So you're 100%
So
right.
ha 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 ha.
So there's a headline.
Barbara Jean said something.
I know. I want to see if Barbara Jean sent it. We can't share it till we preview it.
I got it.
Is it good? Okay. So the headline is "Get ready for another leftist meltdown" as court confirms the Trump administration can freeze federal funds legally. So a few years ago, there was a court ruling. The Supreme Court said that only Congress can make rules and laws. So you had all of these administrative rules and laws that had popped up since the 1970s. Congress would give an agency money and authority to supervise something, but they wouldn't write the rules for them. So the agency would write the rules. So the more left-leaning the people were in the agency, the more,
unhinged,
unhinged,
Policies
invasive is the word I'm more, were these rules and regulations. And the
Okay.
harder they were on people that leftists didn't like.
Mhm.
So the court said, no, they can't do that. So they struck that down last year.
Mhm.
So basically Donald Trump is taking that and going, this is gone, this is gone, this is gone. It's an administrative rule. People are saying getting rid of U.S. aid is a constitutional crisis. U.S. aid came into being by an executive order. Therefore, it can go away by executive order.
Look at that.
It was not enacted as a law by Congress.
Mhm.
So Congress has been guilty of this as well,
Mhm.
right? Oh, well, we're going to fix this problem. We'll throw some money at it. We'll let some government agency run it. And we're not going to give them much oversight, obviously, because of the spending, the crazy spending that we see. And it'll all be fine. And
Yeah.
Republicans and Democrats share this. Donald Trump is saying, if you didn't vote for it in Congress, I'm going to get rid of it. And I love it. I think this is awesome. Make Congress do its damn job.
Well, so under the Obama administration, Congress really gave up their authority
Mhm.
in so many ways to the executive power. And that's not the way our system was designed to run. And I kept hearing people say, like, Congress is going to rue the day that they abdicated their authority and they abdicated their position in our government by handing everything down to executive orders and what are the stopgap budgetary measures since they don't pass a budget anymore. What are the omnibus packages? It's like Congress is going to rue the day for that. Hey, guess what? Here's the day. Go ahead and rue.
The Washington Post had an opinion article, why Doge is unconstitutional. So I typically don't read it.
Crimea River.
Yeah. So Alan Charles Rawle
Mm-hmm.
served as the associate White House counsel under President Ronald Reagan and as general counsel of the Office of Management and Budget under Reagan and President George H.W. Bush. Currently serves, and this should tell you everything you need to know, as the board secretary of the Society for Rule of Law and is a lecturer at Harvard Law School. Okay. So he's first,
All of the credentials.
I've ridden Reagan's coattails as far as I can. I probably have betrayed him as much as I can.
Mhm.
And I forgot why Reagan was there to get rid of government, right? I mean, apparently Ronald Reagan's joke of what's the most dangerous thing you'll ever hear? I'm here from the government and I'm here to help,
Yes.
right? Okay. So in this article, he says Donald Trump is appointees and officials, quasi-officials, outsiders are in the midst of radical restructuring or termination of government employees, agencies, and programs. Whether all of this, many or some regard desirable or debatable, also debatable is whether the 49.8%, we had to get below 50. Remember they had of the electorate who elected Trump won all this, or whether the 50.02% who voted for Kamala Harris or third-party candidates won any of it, right?
And third-party candidates.
You lost me there, right, when you had to get to the 50.2.
Yeah.
So what is not debatable, however, is that Congress has not authorized this radical overhaul, and the protocols of the Constitution do not permit statutorily mandated agencies and programs be transformed, reorganized out of existence without congressional authority. Well, if they were enacted without congressional authority, they can be unenacted without congressional authority. And you can just tell Congress, we didn't spend the money that you appropriated, and we have a budget surplus. So the more of this article you read, it's the same stuff where you can't do this. You can't do this. The hell we can't. We've given all of you think tank academians years to figure this out, and you didn't do it.
Yeah.
A bunch of 20-year-olds with an algorithm are kicking your rear end.
Yeah.
They are kicking your
Suck
rear
it.
end. You guys are getting beaten by the generation that you make the most fun of.
Yeah.
And I am loving this. I am as a Gen X guy, I'm loving this, right? You guys, you wouldn't let anybody else into power. You kept making it more complicated. You kept making it harder for people to earn a living. You kept raising costs, and you didn't give a crap about whether our grandkids could pay back the debt. And a bunch of little kids with some great nicknames are kicking your rear end, and you can't keep up. And a guy who is going to be the oldest president in office is running circles around you. It just shows how
But he's
inept
doing
you
it
are.
from Mar-a-Lago, so he's on vacation.
It shows how inept you are. It shows how inept the system is. It shows how inept everybody that has said, we're working to make government better, actually was. Because anybody could have brought this out and said, hey, why don't we fix it? Well, because the system was so corrupt, if they did, they probably got fired, transferred, or terminated. But you don't give a crap about that.
Yeah.
You don't care about how much money we've wasted on all of these programs.
Mm.
Oh, my gosh. So anyway, I kind of glanced through that, and I thought the Washington Post was a little bit over the top. So,
Yeah.
The judicial branch cannot allow this profound political and economic program to proceed without clear congressional authorization, which to this point is completely absent. Well, congratulations. As Amanda said earlier, we haven't passed a budget. We can't pass a budget. So if Congress can't get this stuff done, the chief executive has to do it.
Yeah.
And that happens to be Donald J. Trump, the 47th president of the United States.
45th and 47th.
Who really probably won more than 50% of the vote if you let California quit counting in a reasonable time.
Oh, my word.
But we're not going there. We're just not going to
What
go
the
there.
headline should be is leftist media discovers that we have a constitution designed to limit government power.
There's a great headline. And I think it was, again, the Washington Post.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump clearly is trying to limit the size of government and the amount of spending, right?
You think?
And it's like, wait a minute. I thought he was a fascist.
Washington
I
Post
thought- did anybody
discovers
not-
conservatism.
Did anybody not tell the Washington Post that's the exact opposite of being a fascist when you're trying to get
Yeah.
rid of government? But I guess it's fascist in the Washington Post eyes to limit government. I don't think anybody
You keep using that
that's
word.
on the left, whether they're a communist, fascist, progressive, or wants to limit any size of government. And here's Trump. He's not like with a scalpel.
Mhm.
He's taken a wrecking ball
Dude.
full with little kids and a computer system that are crushing you guys.
As a man in construction, are there times when it's just a demo job and you have to rebuild?
Yeah.
Are
Yes.
there times when that's reality?
Yes.
Would you say that that's where we're at right now?
Yes.
Tear it down, rebuild it?
Tear it down, rebuild it.
Oy vey. Do we
All right.
want to see what Barbara Jean sent?
I do want to see what Barbara Jean said.
All right, a little art break. Barbara Jean sent us.
Oh, I love it.
Who
I love it.
knew Elon Musk was a DC guy?
I love that Elon Musk
Get
was
it? DC guy?
DC guy.
Don't-
That's very funny. Very funny. Hurts a little bit, but he can't be Captain America because he's from South Africa.
Yeah, that's true.
So here's what I thought was funny yesterday is Trump has a presser
Mm-hmm.
with Elon Musk in the Oval Office, and Elon can't afford a babysitter. He's the richest guy in the world, and he can't afford a babysitter.
Oh,
He had one of his kids with him, which I thought was hilarious. He stood for the entire
oh
thing.
my word, it's so cute.
And then they had one of the reporters said, "You said we sent $50 million worth of condoms to Gaza, but it wasn't Gaza and Palestine. It was Gaza and Mozambique." And and Elon says, "Yeah."
Oh yeah, you sent it to a different location than what you said.
Elon says, "Yeah, I was wrong about that. I'm not always going to be right. No one bats 1,000. I apologize for the misstatement there. But don't you think we should ask, why are we sending $50 million worth of condoms to Gaza, Mozambique?"
Seems
And they're like,
to
"Well,
be
this
the
is
pertinent
to,
question.
to stop the spread of AIDS." I mean, I did some research today.
Uh-huh.
You know what the average cost of a condom is? I haven't bought condoms in a lifetime.
Yeah.
Do you know what the average cost is?
Not since inflation. I don't need them anymore.
So
No uterus.
anywhere from 10 cents to $2.
All right.
So if you figure just $1 a condom,
10 cents.
take
to
away
$2.
the shipping cost, because I'm
Yeah.
sure there was an entire shipping container full of prophylactics that were being sent
Because
around.
again, rather than supporting local businesses, we buy them here and then ship them.
So
Ugh.
no, we buy them from China and
Yeah,
then we
that's true.
ship them,
That's
which is even
We
worse.
probably ship them from China
Yes.
here so that we
Yes.
can load it onto a preferred plane and then.
And I'm going to tell you, the Chinese might have given us a deal on the condoms, but they killed us on the freight. So
so many thoughts.
I know. So here, that's like 50 million condoms.
That's a lot of condoms.
Is there, somebody needs to go to Gaza, Mozambique and just do a study on sex trends there. Because if they need 50 million, that's either a ton of people in that city or a little bit of people that are having a lot of whoopee.
A lot of whoopee.
That's just crazy.
Hi, Gen X.
That's just crazy.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out a way to say it that would keep us out of
Your
trouble.
dating show.
The
is
algorithm
showing-
doesn't know what whoopee is. They have no
It's a
idea.
whoopie
They think
pie.
I just referred to somebody on The View.
No, a cookie.
Yeah.
I just love that
Yep.
the current administration has just got kids everywhere. There's like
Mhm.
always kids around this administration.
Mhm.
And I think that there's something so hopeful about the people running our country right now having a legacy that they want to leave behind.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a whole different perspective because they have kids and grandkids and they want to leave
Mhm.
behind something better than what they inherited. And you're right. Like I'm sorry to say it, but like the boomers have been holding on to power forever, not training up the next leaders, not stepping aside so that we can get new ideas and new perspectives from different generations. Gen X has been completely shut out of leadership in general. I mean, especially in DC.
But you got to understand, Gen X's attitude is if you put us in charge,
take my ball and go home.
we're going to take over.
Yeah.
If you don't put us in charge, we're going to let you just screw it up
Mhm.
until it's a complete and utter disaster. And then we're going to come in and take over.
Which is what you've done.
Which is what we've done. I have to give this example. I was a senior at St. Joe.
Mhm.
We got our third principal
Mhm.
in 4 years.
Yep.
So we just decided as seniors, we just weren't going to acknowledge that he was principal. We just ignored him for the entire year. We're like, we've been here longer than you've been here. We just really don't need to pay any attention to you. That was disrespectful, but it was kind of like, you guys haven't paid any attention to us. You keep giving us a new principal. We're just going to do whatever the hell we want.
Yeah.
We're not going to tell you what we're doing. We're just going to do what we want to do.
Yeah.
And that's Gen
No
X.
wild pranks?
It's just Gen X. Oh, they were pranks. We blamed them on the juniors. No,
Of
I mean, we
course.
took responsibility for those. We were the generation. We said, yeah, we did that. Yeah, we did that. We're okay with it. Heck
Yeah.
yeah. No, I look at where we're at and these young people. This article that I have talks about how long it took them to hack into the Treasury Department's payment system.
Mhm.
And apparently they got in at 2 a.m. to
Yes.
start doing this work. So all these Treasury workers that are like, we're going to fight Doge. We've got this plan and that plan and
They
this
were
plan. and that.
fired before they woke up.
Before they got into the office, they had broken the algorithm,
Yeah.
figured out where all the payments were going,
Mhm.
and started analyzing where the threads were,
Well, all
right?
you have to do is download the data and then you can get kicked out of the building all you want. You've already got the data.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they don't understand. Like once you get the data,
Yes.
it doesn't matter if they're in the building.
Mhm.
If all the data is digital, then
They said Treasury
That is what it
officials,
is.
career officials began arriving at 6 a.m. for work. They found systems they thought impenetrable already mapped. Networks they believed hidden already exposed, and power structures built over decades revealed in hours.
wow.
So it makes me kind of wonder. And they said the same thing about USA Aid, how quickly they got in there and were able to figure out everything. I mean, here's the scary thing for me. If Musk and his guys can figure it out, how long have the Chinese known what we've been doing?
Yeah.
I mean, we might want to go to the Chinese spies and go, hey, can you tell us where some of the waste and fraud is?
Well, that
Because
might,
obviously, if we could get in, you're pretty sure that they're hacking in as well.
that might be why we've been kissing other nations' butts for so long, because they know what the government officials have been telling us,
Mm-hmm.
but they know what they've been doing. So,
Yeah, I just love the fact that this group of kids was able to get all of this stuff done. So I think
Well-
it's awesome. I think it's amazing. Pete Hegseth welcomed them into the Pentagon. Look, I love
they're
our
essentially downloading the data and putting it through an AI to process it.
Mhm.
And so, like, it doesn't have to take that long. That's the thing that government officials have been fighting and claiming that, oh, this is just untenable. Like, we could start an audit, but it won't be done for 10 years or however ridiculously long. And all it takes is the right algorithm, which Elon Musk probably presented to Trump when they had their first meeting.
Yeah.
I've got this algorithm that can search out payments and organize them.
let me tell you this went, right? This is how the meeting went.
Okay.
Elon rolls up, right? Donald, hey, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. I'd
Mhm.
like to help. Well, everybody wants to help, but how are you going to help, Elon? I'm going to run this algorithm. I'm going to figure out where all the money went in about 15 minutes. And the agency we should look at first is USA.
Done.
Elon, I've got 5 more months of campaigning or 4 more months. Can you work on that so that when I win, because I'm going to win, that we can roll this out before and get it done before they can ever figure out what we're doing?
Mhm.
And Elon said, I've already written the program. It's ready to go. I've got the people hired. Just win.
Yeah.
And we're good. So I love how fast this is going on. I mean, yesterday we got a hostage home from Russia. There's already talks that Trump may go to Russia to close out the war with Ukraine, which would be awesome and amazing because that's an incredible waste. And Trump has gotten agreements from Ukraine that we're going to get rare earth minerals from Ukraine to pay for the money that we gave Ukraine to fight the war.
Oh, nice. Here's another instance of children being present in this administration, and they're adorable, and I love it.
You know the difference?
He's hot.
Their hair is safe. There's been no sniffing of children's hair in this administration.
They have that whiteboard.
Yes.
Days since child was sniffed in White House.
January 20th.
Sad.
Look, I'm sorry. I keep telling that joke, and then I'll watch all these different news stuff, and I'll watch, and that joke is everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I did it first on the 904 now.
Bobby points out, did people complain when JFK had his kids in the Oval Office? And I thought that's what it reminded me of. That famous picture of John poking his head through the door in Resolute Desk. That's what it reminded me of.
I think it's absolutely awesome. I think the rate and the speed at which all of this stuff is going on is fantastic. Did you hear about the federal workers' retirement plan? Have you heard this story?
No.
Okay. I might get a little of this wrong, and you might have to Elon Musk me, some of you out there, so I apologize if I'm not perfect on this. But apparently all of the federal workers' records are kept on paper in a limestone cavern.
The Mike Davis.
The
Mike Davis approach.
Yeah, but I'm only responsible for me. I'm not responsible for all the federal workers. They can only have like 10,000 people a year retire because the elevator that goes down to the bottom of this cavern to where all this stuff is kept only runs at a certain speed, and only a certain number of people can get in, and only can carry a certain amount of weight, right?
This is not real.
This is 100% real. Elon Musk figured this out. And so you
uncovers
have like
limestone mine used for. Are you kidding
I'm
me?
not kidding you.
This is the federal cheese all over again. Do you remember that story?
I remember the federal cheese, but stick with this one.
Okay.
Just stick with this one. Look at it. So this mine has like 1,000 people that work in it. You would have thought at some point in time, we might have put some of this crap on a computer.
What the actual?
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
You have to go in the mine. You have to access the paper records.
An old Pennsylvania limestone mine housing all retirement paperwork, just the paperwork in general.
Just the paperwork in general.
For government employees is limiting how fast. I wonder if that's limiting how fast workers can retire. Maybe a PDF. You know, you can scan a PDF with your iPhone Notes app. Go to Notes. And there's the way that you can scan documents and make a PDF file and email it. It's brilliant.
I thought we should change the format of this. We could start printing it every day, and then we could hire some boys on bikes to ride around and deliver it to our listeners. I thought that would be a technological marvel.
Can we enlist Mike Tyson to set up a carrier pigeon army for retirement paper delivery?
He did not get an ambassadorship, so he's not busy. He's fine.
Give it time.
Where would you send Mike Tyson if he was an ambassador? Where would you send Mike Tyson?
He's big in the cannabis world right now. So I'm going to say ambassador to Holland for Amsterdam.
That's not bad. I mean, it's not, but I want to kind of
I feel like he would enjoy tulips too.
Like if you send him to South Korea and he's like, starts popping off at Kim Jong, you better watch it. I'm coming up there and I will beat the crap out of your entire army and you.
I'm going to punch you so hard your whole family's going to feel it.
Your whole family's going to feel it.
Mike Tyson's trash talk is kind of wild. There's some really funny clips where I don't think he realizes that he's saying some really wild double entendres because he's like not reacting or giving
maybe
any
you're just
indication.
Looking for the double entendre.
No.
Maybe you're just looking.
I'm going to find a transcript.
I think maybe you're just looking. And then you're going to read it and then you're going to laugh and then Davey's going to laugh hysterically wherever he's at. I know how you kids play this game.
Wild.
I do. All All right, I do have like an update for people that want to. So tonight at 6:30, the moon's going to rise.
Okay.
The sun sets about 6:30 as well. So if it's clear out, which it was when I came in here, but it doesn't mean anything. It was clear when I came in here yesterday and I got out and it was a rainstorm that had gone through. And it doesn't fog up. It might actually be a really cool moonrise tonight over at the beach. So just a heads
That's
up.
really cool.
Doesn't often happen that it rises about sunset. So it might be cool.
I'm working on pulling it up. That's a really cool. I just like that there's still some light when I leave here
Oh my gosh, yes.
because it's been dark for very long,
Long
a
time.
long time.
November.
You walk out and I'm just walking out towards the jail in darkness.
Bobby, if you were a federal employee, and I guess a military person counts, somewhere in the bottom of that deep, dark limestone mine is a record with your name on it, buddy.
Pennsylvania limestone mine.
Pennsylvania limestone mine. Who was like, yeah, this would be a good place to put this? And then we're just going to keep it there
Well, so that's
forever.
the internet is not cooperating with my computer, and I can't play the clip. I'm looking for a transcript of the Mike Tyson thing.
Mhm.
Can't play it. We'll get banned. But
No, we're
there
not.
was a government effort to save dairy farms. And so the government began buying milk, like
Mhm.
tons of milk
Mm-hmm.
to save dairy farmers.
Yes.
When there was a lull, I think post World War II. And then it was like, well, what are we going to do with all this milk? So they turned it into cheese
Yes.
so that it wouldn't go bad. Cheese holds longer than just milk. And then they stored it in defunct mines all over the country. And Ronald Reagan discovered that we were spending ridiculous amounts of money on milk, converting it to cheese, and then just storing the cheese
Mhm.
because there was no mechanism for what to do with the cheese. And that's why government cheese became such a thing.
Mhm.
People getting handed government cheese.
Because they didn't know what to do with it.
They didn't, and Ronald Reagan said we have to get rid of it.
And then
so
suddenly he
that's
was
when-
robbing food from hungry people.
No, he was giving food to hungry
No, he's
people.
robbing food from hungry people.
But yeah, that was the same. So I wonder if whoever decided to store the cheese in defunct mines was the same one that came up with the brilliant plan of putting all the retirement records in a retired
I'm
limestone
much
mine.
more cynical than that. At some point in time, a congressman that sat on a committee that picked the location had a family friend, a brother, an aunt, an uncle, or somebody who said, hey, I'll give you a kickback if you can just rent this mine from me or buy this mine.
Mhm.
I'm just much more cynical. I think most of it goes to that kind of stuff than anything else.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. The Department of Interior decided before Musk got there that they would look to see if they had any Politico subscriptions.
Yeah.
They did. They
Did they?
canceled all of theirs today. Christy Nome was 2 for 2 today. So you have to wonder how much of legacy media
Mhm.
has been propped up by the government the last 25 years.
While claiming that we have free speech in this government, there's literally been government funded media.
Yes. And Politico, I will tell you, if as much of this is true about the funding of Politico, unless George Soros buys it and funds it,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to fund. I can tell you Bezos does not want another newspaper
Mm-hmm.
because the Washington Post is killing him. And you have to wonder how much money they were getting.
Mm-hmm.
AP was getting money. If you had enough money to give to the BBC,
The BBC was getting money.
You had enough money to give to the BBC.
Which
Yes.
I listened to libertarian and conservative commentators out of the UK. It's a pretty cool channel. It's called the Lotus Eaters. And they do a lot of philosophy. They talk politics, both American and world politics, and economics. It's a cool channel. But so if you own a TV in the UK, you have to pay a TV license.
Mm-hmm.
And that TV license funds the BBC.
Mm-hmm.
And so people have just stopped buying TVs
Oh, that's great.
because people my age and younger don't have cable,
Mhm.
which might be changing the way the streaming services are doing now. People are kind of reinvestigating cable. But yeah, they just don't buy a TV because
Mhm.
they can watch it on a computer. You can buy a projector and you can project it onto a wall. You don't have to actually buy the device of a TV. And so come to find out, so many people stopped buying TVs that they needed to come hat in hand to the Americans while looking down on us and constantly calling us Yanks and derogatory Americans. Coming to us to fund the BBC.
And you went there. So
here we are.
You went there. So someone asked Trump the other day about deporting Prince Harry.
Yeah.
Because he had a substance abuse. Maybe he lied on his application.
He had a
right?
charge.
And if he lied on his visa application, then he could be kicked out of the country.
Yeah.
So Trump, magnanimous as always, kind, gentle, understanding Donald J. Trump, just simply said no. He's got enough problems with his wife. He doesn't need to worry about that too.
He just
Talk about a man with a heart.
He just can't drop a petty dispute. Like the whole, why did he have to talk so much trash about Taylor Swift? Like you could have just, like you won. You got cheered. She got booed. You could have just let it lie. You won. Like you won the argument. But no, you have to go on truth and you have to be a douche about it. And then then you look bad.
I find this really interesting. I really, truly do.
Yeah.
And because you're bitching at him about not dropping an argument. I found in my life that women have a harder time dropping arguments than men. That for the most part, men get an argument and we're over it. We're done. We've moved on.
Trump, not so much.
Not so much.
It's the most feminine quality he exudes.
I do not disagree with that. But he has a way of dunking on people long after it's over. Like if somebody insulted him 10 years ago and something bad happens to them, he will find a way to get it out.
Do you think he learned that from Rush? Because if Rush gave you a nickname, it never died.
Yeah, and I was thinking about
John Kerry, who served in Vietnam.
I was thinking about Rush during this broadcast.
Yeah.
And I loved Rush. And I thought Rush helped turn the media landscape around.
Yeah.
He was a lone voice in the wilderness for the longest time and was just had a great way of explaining things and making difficult things very simple for people to understand. He was part of the Newt Gingrich revolution, which didn't go as far as we wanted it to go as Republicans.
It was a start, but Republicans
but it got hung up in an area where everyone said, we don't know what to do with government. And I think Clinton smoozed the pants off of Gingrich at a press conference, and that was the end of Gingrich. And then
Clinton knew how to schmooze the pants off of people.
And then we got stupid and we impeached him, which we just, had Richard Nixon done what Bill Clinton had done, yes, the Democrats would have successfully impeached him. Republicans were unable to successfully impeach him, and that was the end of their kind of movement for a while. But anyway, I thought Rush was really good at that. But even with all of the information that Rush had, this USAID crap and this Social Security and Medicare, this fraud's been there for forever. In the case of people that have been getting payments until they were 150 years old for Social Security, it's been there for at least 50 years.
Yeah.
Maybe more. That person, whoever has been cashing the check or the family that's been cashing the check has been doing so longer than I'm alive and I'm 58.
Yeah.
Right. So even with that, Rush never got close to this level of the corruption and fixing it. And so I give Musk and Trump and all these kids just an amazing, it's like, you guys are crushing this. Don't stop. Find every bit of this. And are we going to do some things that we turn something off and we got to turn it back on again? Yeah, we sure are. But I'd rather make that error than, we can't look because we might make a mistake.
Yeah.
No, just go.
Yeah.
Just 100% go. It's like the Michael Scott. You miss 1,000% of the shots you never take.
Well, I was at Marineland when they built the new habitats.
Yes.
And when we were talking about the timeline of moving the animals into the habitats once they were constructed and all of the filtration systems and everything were in place, we were told that what we had to do was fill them up, wait, see if there's any leak, see if any pressure breaks anything, empty it, fill it up again. We had to do it like 6 times because you had to pressure test it. And you had to do it for an extended period of time and then leave it empty to see if you broke anything. Like, okay, it didn't crumble when it was full of water, but we are going to have to drain the habitats in a process of cleaning it. So we have to know that it's not just going to crumble in on itself once it no longer has that water pressure. So we had to do this sort of expand, contract multiple times. Like, it's just part of the building process.
I don't want to see their water bill.
We were pulling water from the ocean. Yeah. Marineland's fed straight from the ocean. That's
Okay.
why it was so cold.
Okay.
Whatever the ocean was, it was that or colder because then the wind blows over it and
Mhm.
cools it off, like
Mhm.
blowing on a coffee cup.
Mm.
So it was whatever the ocean temp was or colder.
As a surfer, I am very familiar with ocean temp.
Yeah.
As a surfer.
But that's one of the reasons, one of the arguments for why Marineland has such longevity with their animals is because it's
Natural
Natural.
seawater.
natural seawater that has been filtered on top of that. And so it's even cleaner than the ocean.
So if there was a government program to provide natural seawater to inland aquariums, do you still think we'd be buying that from China as well?
Probably.
Just asking for a friend.
From just outside the Yangtze.
Yes,
Yeah.
somewhere right next to a nuclear power plant
Yeah.
that's discharging water. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
It's one of those things I think about.
I worked at an aquarium in New York and they had to get tanker trucks.
Mhm.
They were on the river. So it was brackish at best where they were located. And so they got tanker trucks that would pull water from the Atlantic and bring it. And then we'd have to put it into holding tanks and we would process it and clean it there and before it went into the habitat. So it was a whole thing. So we got water delivered. We were in a city called Riverhead and we had to get water
Now I
delivered.
wonder which family was connected with that trucking line,
Oh, it was
right?
in New
There's
York.
just always something you have to wonder
It was
about.
in
It was
New
in New
York.
York, so
Lenny probably knows them.
not that I'm judging. I'm not judging. You guys are fine. It's the
Yeah.
way you do business up there.
Mhm.
It's okay. All right. Tomorrow, we got the Bollocks boys coming in.
Yes.
We've got a lively political debate for a while.
I'm
I'm
sure.
sure there's things I have no idea what we're going to talk about because things are happening at light speed.
Yeah.
And then in the morning, great morning show. I don't know if the sheriff's coming in or not. It's a Friday. Sometimes
He was
in.
there last week, so probably
Okay,
not this
probably
week.
not this week.
No.
And then there's an amazing afternoon show that comes on sometime in the afternoon
Yeah.
that Davey's involved with in a slight way. So you might want to watch that.
Before we leave, I am going to tell you what Mike Tyson said to his opponent.
What did he say?
In 2002, so you can find this video. I'm not going to play it because
Do I need to put my hands over my ears?
I don't want to get us banned. I'm going to give you the PG-13 version.
Mm-hmm.
He told his opponent at a press conference, I think it was the weigh-in like photo op before the fight, that he not going to F him up, that he was going to F his opponent and eat his A+S. Interesting trash talk from Mike Tyson.
So you're gonna knock me out. Then when I wake up, my butt's gonna be
Uh-huh.
gone.
You're going to be sore everywhere,
Yeah.
basically, is what he's
Oh
saying.
man, I don't know. I don't want to get a ring
He
of
did
Mike
spend
Tyson.
time behind bars, didn't he?
I don't want to go with Mike Tyson. No. And then Jimmy Jam is this weekend. Hopefully you've ordered
Yes, you
food.
gotta pick up.
If you haven't, make a donation to help young Troy out. Just
Yes,
reach out to
absolutely.
Jimmy Jam, give him some money, help him out.
JimmyJamOutreach.com.
JimmyJamOutreach.com. We're
Give
gonna be
money.
pumping
I'm pretty sure you can put it in the memo line that it's for
Yes.
young Troy.
Young Troy.
Yes.
They'll get it to him. They'll make sure it's taken care of. So we're all good.
Yes.
All right, you guys have a great night.
Love you guys.
Remember, the moon's coming up here in a half an hour.
Yes. Run.
We'll see you.
Run
to
somewhere
the
to see the moon.
beach.
Bye.